what the book and what I learned was that science is incredible. It is a pathway to knowledge, but so is spirituality. They're complementary. And there's a gap in those two, scientific and spiritual. What I wanted to do, my intention here, and what Tiller had said all those years ago was, you must meditate. And Nisha, you don't need to repeat my experiments, but if you can communicate a little bit of my physics for your colleagues in medicine, then I think you can help.
Yeah.
I didn't know what he meant, but now here we are a decade later, and I'm thinking, holy shucks. So the book is very simple. The book is very basic, and it was done that way intentionally so that you can build the ideas. There's 7 pillars. You can go build your knowledge to history of science, where we are and why we're here. We must respect that process. And then look at consciousness, where we are there. And I'm saying it's not the brain. We look at thermodynamics, the basic pieces of it, the amazing science of thermodynamics, where it plays out every day. The way I'm talking to you, my glass of water, my coffee cup is cooling down. It's all thermodynamics. The fact that I can move my arm and wave at you, Clint, thermodynamics, chemical potentials. So then we go to pillar 4, his target experiments, where intention plays an immense role. I'm wagging my finger. I apologize, but I know it. I saw the data. I didn't believe it. I'm the most homo jubitat of them all. I told you, I am a scientific mind. And then he turned my attention to what I was seeing. And it all came back. My life in Kenya, the spiritual milieu, that he was doing that with reverence, that science is a way to self-knowledge. Ask the right questions, investigate with authenticity, you'll be led there. There are 10,000 pathways to self-knowledge, prayer, intention, understanding who you are and what you are. Why not science? Why not ask that question properly? You know, I actually challenged him one Thursday. I said, science cannot get to the hard problem of consciousness and all this. You're talking thermodynamics. It's such an old science. Forget about it. You know, I was really, and he's very kind. He's very sweet. And he looked at me, listened, total silence. And then he did this. He took off his glasses and pointed them, and he says, you know, science is a way to self-knowledge. Just that sentence. Science is also a way to self-knowledge. What does self-knowledge mean? Know thyself. Master Jesus is teaching. Know yourself. Know your questions. Because science is a way. We're just at this rung. We're now ready for the next rung. Beyond electromagnetism, which is beyond the speed of light. Those are our benchmarks right now. We just are at the epoch of finding new tools. No germs existed until we had a microscope. We didn't know Jupiter existed until we had a telescope. We didn't know that there are things beyond the speed of light until we get there, okay? And consciousness is way faster. So we have to look at these definitions and revisit them and question them. Question them, okay? So now let's go to the tools, Clint, because for the readers of Bridging Science and Spirit, I pulled out some of the seminal lessons. And one of the first things is the first reality that we face with every day when we get up is atom molecule. I am a bag of atoms and molecules. I am that immediately. I brush my teeth and I have my coffee. Okay. I want to fuel my brain cells. So first things first. Okay. And I realized that we have to pay attention to the body's defense systems in this milieu that we find ourselves in. And I put together some of those tools, first things first, to really boost and increase the vitality of your immune system, which is based on certain supplements and botanicals. They are there. We know the science. It will help you. So some of the things I'll say them out now is vitamin C. vitamin C, at least 1,000 milligrams. If you can get natural vitamin C, even better. If you can't, just take some vitamin C, emergency. Those packets you see in the drugstore, they're good. Okay, they have minerals and vitamin C. At least 1,000 milligrams. So this is the first things first you can do to immediately boost your T cells and your B cells of the immune system surveillance. Okay? And then vitamin D. We're all deficient, Clint. You can't be in a sunny climate, and we have studied this. We are deficient. So I advise at least 10,000 international units of vitamin D right away. The other mineral, zinc, 200 milligrams. If you want natural sources, pumpkin seeds. Seeds are very good sources of zinc. Selenium, 200 micrograms, not milligrams, micrograms, okay? Brazil nuts, very good. So if you have a handful of Brazil nuts, a handful of pumpkin seeds, don't eat too much. You don't want to have too many calories, too much energy, I suppose. But really, the natural sources of vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, selenium, turmeric. Turmeric is wonderful, but here's the thing. Turmeric is not easily soluble, okay? It's a lipid-soluble botanical or plant. And therefore, when you look for supplements of turmeric, look for lipid-soluble ones and look for standardized versions. It'll say standardized on the bottle, okay? The other things I often talk about, first things first, is ginger tea. Ginger is wonderful immune booster. And I also use tulsi. Tulsi is holy basil. This is, again, an homage to my bringing up in Kenya. We had tulsi plant, and we used to drink tea from the tulsi plant. And guess what? Trader Joe's has it. Trader Joe's has tea bags of tulsi. It'll say tulsi and holy basils. You have these. Then we come to the first things first that we are hearing about from the CDC. Wash your hands. Why? Because this virus is an RNA virus. It has a lipid shell. And when you use just basic soap and water, it dissolves it, makes it inactive. That's why hand washing is so important. You don't need fancy soaps. Just hand wash with soap, okay? You don't need antibacterials and sanitizers and all these things that people are so worried about. Just wash your hands and wash it nicely, 20 seconds, The other thing, don't drink cold foods. The virus cannot survive in warm things. So if you want to drink hot water, hot tea, those are good things, okay? So the CDC is right. And then the social distancing, we can do FaceTime. Those are first things first. Vitamin C. And if you are feeling a little bit sniffly, increase it, 2,000, 3,000 milligrams. It's not harmful. Believe me, not harmful. You might get a little loose stools. Fine. Okay, it's okay. But have it in your diet and in your supplements. I just took 2 grams just before I got on the show. I take lipophilic vitamin C. Always stocked up, okay?
You know what?
5,000 international units of vitamin D. And I have my Brazil nuts. Really, I have them there. You were about to say something, Clint.
You and I have not spoken about this, but I just did a video on lipospheric vitamin C that I just shared with everyone. So, we're thinking exactly the same things here. And as I said, we have not talked about vitamin C at all. So we're really connecting here on what's really, really important, not just with the virus around, but because the studies show that people with inflammatory arthritis are deficient on these antioxidants that are so crucial for our defense system.
Yes. And why do we say lipospheric? This is vitamin C that is a nanoparticle of lipids. So it's absorbed very quickly, and I can feel it, Oh.
Me too. I get a little bit of a head spin, just a fraction of it, I feel it in my blood,
Oh, yes. And so if I feel even fatigued, I take more vitamin C. I just take it. And I think it's not a micronutrient. I think we have it backwards. And this is where I would disagree with the USDA recommendations. I would say it's a macronutrient, not micro. We don't need 500 milligrams. We need grams of this stuff. Okay? So 1,000 milligrams is 1 gram, but increase it. And last time I looked on Amazon, the lipospheric brand I live on was sold out, but I think they're ramping up production. There are many other brands. You can take it. Just experiment in your life.
Yeah.
But take some, please. I even say to people, gummy bears, fizzy tablets, take your vitamins, please.
Beautiful. My kids love those ones. Okay, awesome. We could talk about these first things first forever. There's so much we could cover, but please, I know we both agreed that we wanted to limit this through to a certain time limit. We've got about 9 or 10 minutes left here. Get on, see if you can please cover the next 2 of your 5 fundamentals.
So we have first things first, the next level to pump up the supplements you're doing. Don't leave it at the supplements and hand washing. You want to now get super immunity. Super immunity means you're going to pump energy, and the energy is actually the acupuncture system is your battery. Think of it as your battery pumping your immune system, pumping your nerves, your muscles, your heart, your brain cells. And that's Tai Chi. It can be yoga. Okay. Once you do even a simple practice of Tai Chi and Qigong, you can go to YouTube. I do Spring Forest Qigong. And once you start, even 5 minutes, you're starting to warm up and your acupuncture system absolutely snaps into attention. Here's another thing I often do. It's not in the book, but if I am, it's like a spiritual first aid. I actually thump my thymus. The acupuncture system is just behind the thymus gland in your sternum. Just thump it and go ha ha ha, and you snap your acupuncture system resets itself very quickly. So you got your battery charging. So please do first things first, and then pump up your subtle energy pump. You have many resources out there, okay, but use it, explore it. Just go onto YouTube and do fundamental Tai Chi. For people with arthritis, fortunately, the Arthritis Foundation has the Paul Lamb program for people with arthritis. You just go to arthritis.org and you can just go Tai Chi and you'll be able to get videos and how to do simple Tai Chi. You can even do chair Tai Chi. If you're not able to stand, if you're worried, just be in your bed like you, Clint, and start move your arms in the white cloud movement. And I can tell you, this will actually pump up your whole system. We think of just the arms, but it's your whole system that starts to move. Just like you're visualizing, you can close your eyes. You can really move from your toes to the hair follicles to back and forth, okay? Mm-hmm. You have the capacity, but start becoming familiar with those energy systems and how they feel inside of you, okay? Become sensitive to that. But there's a third level, so first things first, subtle energy pump. But the really amazing part is what we're talking with the gas discharge. Your intention is a powerful source of energy and information. Here's what I tell my patients. Take your supplement, put them in your left hand, and hold an intention over it. Hold an intention, cover it with your right hand, and for about a minute, just intend that this medicine's energy and information contained in it will be effortlessly assimilated by my body. May it be so. It's like a prayer almost. But that intention, that information, already you have a different potential of the supplement, okay? You're holding it. You can even hold it, in front on your table and say, I intend that my energy pumps this up. Why not? Okay.
I love it. The question I have to that is not whether or not that works. It's, do you think that it works because you are empowering through your energetic thoughts the supplements, or because in the process of thinking about that benefit that you've therefore gaining the benefit?
I think it's both. Your subtle energy is called into usefulness. Now you are directing your power very specifically out there to a target. The target is your vitamin C. It's your food. It's your water. You are saying, I am not separate from this. I am going to use my intention to power up for beneficial purposes. And you can do this with medicines too. A lot of people get fearful about methotrexate and steroids, and I actually teach them this. So, and I'll tell you one thing. If I can share a story, when I left when I left Mayo Clinic, I initially did a short sabbatical for 6 months, and then I came back wrapped up, and then I really moved away. And in that time, when I was leaving for my sabbatical, I had a patient. She has rheumatoid arthritis, and she was very concerned about her medicines. But I told her, do one thing, at least do your Tai Chi. I've given you the thermodynamic pump. What I understand about Tiller's work is that when you do Tai Chi, it will keep all your immune system, in harmony, and will help you. She is a lawyer, actually. And so when I came back, she was one of the first people who was in my clinic. And she was a different person. She says, this Tai Chi has been such a gift. But it's the second thing that really alerted me. She said, Dr. Manek, I discovered something. Yes, I said, what did you discover? And she said, when I take my methotrexate, initially I used to feel a bit of nausea and fatigue for about a day after my dose. But I found that if I take my methotrexate and I hold it in my left hand and I just close my eyes for a few moments and I keep my hand over it, I don't have those effects. What do you think? I called Tiller and he said, oh, that makes total sense because your receiving hand, the body has polarities. When you put your medicine in your left hand, it's the receiving hand and your right hand gives it. So you are connecting the dots inside yourself, and that methotrexate has a different potential now. You have made it different. You can have a belief about it, but she, I can tell you, discovered this on her own and made that. And I said, absolutely. Keep taking your methotrexate. And it was later on, she even made more connections through her Tai Chi practice. So she became open to more information, but she was empowered. She discovered things on her own, connected the dots. And the most important thing, Clint, was she lost the fear of medications, which she needed. Her body needed that to be harmonized. She powered it up with her Tai Chi practice. Then she powered it further with her intention. And it was her own discoveries. So she taught me a lot. And now she changed me as a physician, as a rheumatologist. I say, okay, let's do the first things first. What medicines, what supplements do you need? I prescribe Tai Chi routinely. I actually teach them. I teach them mindfulness. Sometimes if they have a very busy mind, we just go into breath work. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Hold, breathe in, hold. We just practice that for 5 minutes. I just say, switch off the light in my room, in my office. And we just go through. And I can't tell you how many times patients just relax and just be there in the space of silence, breathing in and breathing out. Just even go there. That's a very basic, that's setting your intention.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yeah. Yep. It's the silence of it. So there you have first things first, smart bodies and subtle energies, intention matters.
Mm-hmm. And there are a couple more, and I don't know what they are because I haven't seen them yet, but you have these free available on your website. You just have to jump on your mailing list, correct?
Right. They will be posted as blog posts, so you can download, it's free. You don't even need to buy the book. I just want people to know that you can have a system in place for the long run. Yeah. Make a system because it's the system that will support you, whatever happens out there. Okay, hold on. Whatever happens in the world, you are ready and poised. Whether it's your first things first, then you can change that. But you got your Tai Chi practice. You can do it in the airline, in the bathroom. You're doing it. But your intention, you're prayerful. You're just silent for 5 minutes. You're powerful. You can do this. And then you can build on that program. It's the program, not a single thing. You have to do all of those levels, and they will serve you well for life. And this is what we should be teaching our children. Good habits, eating, supplements, teaching them good energetic practices. I bet you ADD will be a history thing, you know? We need to teach them Qigong and Tai Chi in our classrooms. Then holding intention that you are powerful, showing them the evidence, and then building that, you know? So we have a new generation of people who are really powerful, and we're not homo jubitat anymore. We're becoming self-empowered homo spiritus.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful, wouldn't it? I just
Homo universalis, brotherhood of man, right?
My children today, I was just thinking about what they've done so far. So this morning, my wife and her mum were watching a global meditation broadcast live by Saint Rajinder Singh, and they were sitting, and although they didn't meditate, you know, they're aware that we like and sort of engage in meditation on a regular basis. And yesterday afternoon, I was doing my Wim Hof breathing, and in came my 3-year-old, and I turn around and she's holding her breath because she's listening to the video, but she didn't do all the breath work, but she didn't do the prior work, so she only held her breath for about 10 seconds. But I'm like, you know, they'll pick up on these habits and these things that we do as adults. Really, they do learn, and they're influenced, and they're copycats, the kids. They'll do what the parents do. So if we can do these things, we can influence our next generation to be, as you said, all of these, you know, more mindfulness, more ability to, as you've put, as the title, to bridge the science and the spirit, which is great.
Yeah, you know, you reminded me of this global prayer that, and I called it the granny effect, that the grandmother and her church group are immensely powerful healers. And in fact, experts have said that. The reference I used in the book was a paper, a round table around how do we investigate subtle energies. And one of the things that these experts said, that there's no question that when you have a grandmother in her church group praying for somebody in a hospital, we can't do such a trial because it mucks up the result. And I thought, bingo, even the experts agreed the grandmother in her church group is having immense effects. How does that effect happen? And that's where we also need to go. And I call it the field effect. Okay, we're creating spaces. Humans create great field effects. It's not just your atoms and electrons which have field effects. Your field effect and my field effect actually are interacting right now, even though you're in Florida and I'm in California. Subtle energies have very different rules. Okay? It's a field effect. So all these global prayers, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Keep doing them.
Yeah.
It does work. There's no question. We should be doing that.
It's like when in the Bible it says wonderful things or great or amazing, remarkable things happen when two or more people come together in my name. Right?
Yes,
it's almost like it's like a wave that then has a synchronicity with another wave, and the wave then builds into higher peaks and troughs, right? So
yeah, you reminded me of Saint Matthew, but here's the thing: when Tiller was doing his intention experiments, he did say one very important thing: link up with the divine as you understand him or her to be. So when we are doing these global prayers, we're linking ourselves with the great absolute love field and saying, we are one. How beautiful is that? I mean, I'm just pumped up thinking about it.
Oh, me too. Well, one thing over and above everything that you've shared with us, I'm sure that people are just so enlivened and refreshed to know that someone who works in the field of rheumatology has such an extraordinary more to offer to the world over and above what you're doing for your patients in the medical sort of side of things, but also in this spiritual side of things. And I know we ran over your time a little bit, and I'm very grateful that you shared everything with us today. All I can say is go grab your book, folks, if you're listening and this touches or resonates with you. Go grab Dr. Manek's book. read the book. I'm halfway through it, thoroughly enjoying it. And subscribe to your mailing list, because I've been receiving these tools from you, and you get the tools on the mailing list, and then you don't have to quickly go back on this podcast and take notes or go to the transcription. You can just get them and print them out and put them in a binder or something. So let's finish off just by your website address.
It's Nisha Manek, MD. So Nisha is NISHAMANEK, nishamanekmd.com. And there's lots of wonderful information there with Dr. Tiller and Lama Zopa Rinpoche, who's a heart disciple of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. So we've done some very unique work to show that consciousness is way, way beyond this little brain here. And so, and once we know that, we're always connected to the great divine. It's we're never alone. I think that's the basic message here, that we're never alone, and that we have great helpers and angels on our side. And now we are becoming aware. We can bridge science and our knowledge with the CDC and everything, the wonderful things that we're doing, and bridge it into with prayer. And I just want to say, Clint, you're such an amazing host. I can keep going, but you just absolutely, it's so much fun just to talk to you and go in these wonderful, meaningful areas. The time has come. The idea of intentions power is an idea whose time has come now, more urgently than ever before. Okay, so we're being speeded up.
Yes.
We're awakening. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you for reawakening me to all of these concepts, which had been dormant for a few years. And so I'm really grateful for that. If you've enjoyed this podcast, whether you've watched it online or whether you've listened to this through your phone or laptop, I'd love if you could go online and go to Rheumatoid Solutions Podcast and give us a 5-star review of this episode. That'd be great. Really motivates me when I see the positive feedback. And if you'd love to have Dr. Manek back and talk more about this, please leave some comments, and we will enjoy having more discussions like this. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Dr. Manek.
Hey, thank you, Clint. It's been so much fun. Thank you for starting my Sunday on a really high note. My immune system's boosted up.
Awesome.